Hey everyone, it's Chime back in their video, and today we're going to be going over some characters that are way better than their rarity suggests. A lot of you know about a lot of these characters. There's a few ones that may, I guess, be underrated in your mind because you haven't built them out, or you just assumed due to their rarity. So let's jump into it. So a lot of these are actually characters that I've ended up building out because I do own every epic and every elite in the game. So the legendaries are really what I'm lacking on, which means that I've gotten a lot of good uses out of certain characters in the elite or epic category that are honestly like legendaries or like epics in the case of elites. And we're going to start off with some of the elites that I think are insanely strong. And there are a few here. The first one that I actually want to mention is actually Valuk here. I think this guy could easily be of epic quality. He is basically the replacement for Gangelo if you do not have a Gangelo. Obviously, he's not nearly as good as Gangelo, but he still fits in a lot of slots. And then he comes up and surprises you in certain situations like Void Tower Hard 80, when you get all those bonus attacks and can apply all the poisons. But generally, he's just an amazing queen poisoner, as well as can fit into perhaps Tulpa squads earlier on and some Void Tower hard stages, which is really amazing because he is definitely one of the best poisoners in the game outside of the main two, which is Santis and Gangelo. Next up is going to be Mary here, and this girl is just constantly showing up in Ashe and in Arena. She just is super good, purely for the fact that she's granting this invincibility in Ashe. This one turn of invincibility is enough to make sure that you're blocking the Ashe boss completely. I think that you could easily mistake Mary for an epic. I don't think she's quite legendary quality, but she is definitely an Ashe specialist, and then also comes in handy in Arena quite often due to her trait. If you stun or apply defense down, she can go and cut in and then just remove all of the debuffs, or rather one negative effect from all team members, and then can apply the ultimate, which removes another effect from your teammates, as well as having a bonus turn and damage up on this skill. And damage up is actually quite rare, so she's just an excellent Arena powerhouse as well as an Ashe specialist here. Definitely at least epic quality in my opinion. Then we're going to move on to a few other characters here in the elite category. Next up is Charles, and I think a lot of people grossly underestimate Charles. They see Charles, and the most often question I get asked when I'm talking about the tank comp in Void Tower is, do I need to build out a Charles? Yes, he is almost the carry of the tank comp in essence. Obviously, you do need Hackran as well, and you do need a healer, so technically they're all very crucial. That fourth slot is generally what's able to be kind of swapped out. Now, Charles, you eventually will outscale him. I do think so. I think that he's definitely of epic quality. The main reason for this is he's one of the few characters that has defense-based damage, and it's actually true damage. And then he also has defense scaling, as well as a taunt, guaranteed taunt, as long as you have the focus on the basic. So he literally can permanently CC someone, as well as just dealing true damage every turn. This guy is really good, as well as being one of the tankiest characters in the game, despite being an elite here. So I think a lot of people overlook this guy, and you will definitely see, if you're playing the battles on manual, you will climb in Void Tower hard significantly farther than if you didn't have Charles. Assuming you have not absurdly high gear requirement. Eventually you'll be able to outscale him, as I said, if you just have the gear to brute force it. But obviously in that case you probably have all the characters max anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Or at least most of the characters. The next one is going to be Hewlands here, and this guy is purely because of how unique his kit is. The fact that he can apply no positive effects on every single hit makes him extremely desirable for Gemini and for Queen, as well as some other places as well, perhaps in Void Tower Hard, even some select counters in Arena. His kit is just super unique due to this. He has the unhealable on the basic, which is honestly something that's usually desirable and hard to come by. And then he just has the occasional other skills, which generally aren't too impactful. But he is responsible for the current or recent Gemini 12, 13, 14 clear without Gangelo, as well as being oftentimes used in Queen runs, although you need some really high gear requirements to run him in Queen 14. He's just excellent character. I definitely think he could be of epic quality as well. Then we're going to enter to some of these epics here, and there's quite a few that I've built out just because people have requested I build them out, and they are just as bad as I thought they were, but there's a few here that are, I think a lot of people already know about. And the first one's going to be Hakron. This guy is absolutely of legendary quality. I think he's literally the best PvE character in the game. He's so critical for every single comp out there in PvE generally. Well, not everyone, but generally, if you're trying to get through Queen for the first time, you're going to be using Hakron. If you're trying to get through Ashe, you can use Hakron. If you're trying to get the Gemini, you're going to use Hakron. If you're trying to get through Witch, you can use Hakron. If you're trying to get through Tulpa, you could use Hakron, although for Stage 14, you generally can't. If you're trying to do Void Tower hard, you're going to use Hakron. He's just so impactful, and that's not even due to the fact that he has this max HP. It's all due to this trait here. 20% defense sharing is so massive. It is perhaps the best trait in the game, just because of how impactful sharing 20% of your defense is. Definitely it can be worthy of a legendary title. This next one, Santis, she is responsible, just like Hakron, in almost every single dungeon clearing in the game. Ashe, Queen, Gemini, Witch, not necessarily Tulpa 14, but she is so crucial just because of how many poisons she can put out. And you don't even need her skills. It's literally just her basic and her trait here. Most of the time, you don't even use her skills. It's so good, and definitely can be used, or rather the rarity can be bumped up to legendary in my opinion. We have two more here, and the next one's going to be Nathalia. A lot of people, for those of you that do not have a Nathalia, you know how impactful this character can actually be to your account. She literally can single-handedly determine whether or not you're going to be able to beat Ashe. Just like Gengelo was generally very crucial for Gemini, or for dungeons in general. Nathalia is one of the bottlenecks for Ashe. You can't even literally run the Ice Wolf comp for Ashe 12 without a Nathalia. It's very difficult to clear out the imps with the right damage and having a constant way to do that, because Nathalia is so unique in that she has the AoE hits with the skill resets, with her self-buffing attack. She's just super unique, super good, and perhaps the best damage dealer in the game, in my opinion, and it can definitely be worthy of that legendary slot. Last one is going to be someone that's definitely grown on me, and I think this is a purely PvP choice. This guy single-handedly changed the arena defense meta. Urzak is so powerful in arena offense. He literally takes on tank comps as the solo threat. As long as you have some support around him, you could literally full auto a majority of the tank comps, even the one with Light Zac, as long as you have the right pieces. I've literally been able to go through arena and auto every single battle. The only ones that I have to change up my comp perhaps and not run Urzak is against some of the double or triple threats with like Dark Nick or Ryan or something like that, where they can really do some serious damage. But if there's a tank comp on defense, put in Urzak, press auto, walk away. As long as you have the right support, this guy will take out the entire comp on his own, and definitely a legendary in my eyes in regards to PvP. This guy is responsible for all of my arena climbs, and one of the reasons why I can even reach Diamond at a regular pace rather than having to refresh my battles all the time, because I just go down the list and fight 3 to 4 of the battles, which I was nowhere near able to doing before Urzak's rework here. So definitely a legendary character, but specifically for PvP in my eyes. So those are all the characters I think that are kind of undersold at their rarity. I think that definitely at the elite category, you have a lot of people who underestimate. I think 2 of them in particular are going to, or 3 of them in particular are going to be Charles, Hewlands, and Mary. I think that so many people underrate Charles and Hewlands, and then obviously not a lot of people have Mary, because usually people build them out for the Ice Wolf comp and then don't even look back. But she can be used for Ashe 14 as well, and a really nice arena counter. There's a few characters I didn't mention, so I'll just mention them really quickly. I do think that Connor could be bumped up to the epic rarity. He's obviously significantly better than Hassel, and he's the same element. I do think that William is inching towards the legendary slot, but I think that he falls off significantly later on in the game, and so I think that he's probably solid at the epic slot. He's definitely a beginner, earlier game carry, and can carry you through generally most of the content, if not all the content in the game, but I don't think he's necessarily worthy of the legendary slot. And then I'm not sure if there's anyone else. I think that's pretty much it in regards to the epics and the elites, because obviously legendaries are legendaries. So those are the characters that I think that are worthy of being bumped up a rarity if they ever decide to do so, but I don't think they will. But just to let you know on what you might be underrating, just because they have a blue border or a purple border, make sure you don't overlook these characters. If you want to see what's my list of some characters that I think should be bumped down in rarity, I'm looking at you, Abaddon, here, then let me know by dropping a comment down below and liking the video, and I'll see you for the next one.